welcome to the Trials discussion for BattleCON Trials of Indines, currently on Kickstarter right now through October 16, 2016. I'm Ferdinand the Carbage Sakier from the YouTube channel, and I'm here with Marco from the Mechanic Critic channel dedicated to all that is BattleCON. So how you doing, Marco?
I'm doing fine. Hello and welcome back to what is literally the first battle chat I've ever done with another person.
Yeah, so it's exciting, right? An actual battle chat, right?
An actual chat wherein someone actually talks back to me. Oh, goodness.
Okay, so we're just gonna get done, go through some introduction stuff. So just basic, like how many years you've been playing BattleCON, your favorite character, and what other favorite modes you have other than the classic mode everyone loves. All right, so I'm gonna give that to you first.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll do it first. Just in case any of you haven't watched it yet, I already have a video telling you guys everything about this. But the long story short, I've been playing BattleCON for around 5 years, on or off. I don't play literally every week because I have to go to class. It really started back when I was playing a lot of CCGs like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I absolutely hated getting landlocked or mana screwed every time. So when I found out that there was a board game that had literally 0 random chance in it, I rode on that until the very end. And if we're talking about favorite characters and favorite modes, my favorite character is obviously Seth. I don't know if any of you probably know this, or do you know this? Fernando,
Yes, I watch your stuff, so yeah. You do talk about Seth for quite a lot.
Yeah, I shill out Seth so much. He's great. He's my favorite character because I feel like he's really fun to play, and he's really tilting if you guess your opponent right like 3 beats in a row. And for my favorite mode, actually, I rarely play variant modes because I'm more into the classic Force one. But I will admit that I really had a fun time playing 2v1 multiplayer mode, wherein the one player is like EX version and like the 2 people are normal versions, because I really like playing the EX one because it was very interesting to like finagle your attacks to deal with 2 people at the same time. So with that in mind, how about you?
Great. So I think I started BattleCON around maybe probably the same time you got into. That's like the first edition, the big long box with all the 18 characters and stuff. So I was first introduced from a friend. I think that was on tabletop day, and he just brought it in, and that kind of started the whole thing. Like I was extremely blown away from this because the replayability, all the different characters. I only tried 2 characters that day, and they felt very, very different for me at the time, and how unique and how varied the game is. So I was just amazed by that. For favorite character, I had to pick is probably Tatsumi, and that is yeah, because I just like how she plays, and that she does a lot of movement, and especially going judo. And all the players that I play with, they hate her so much. Yeah, because it's like, because I'm good at her. I'm okay. I think going against her is probably like a equal win and lose kind of thing. But just moving judo around, they hate judos like with a passion. They just don't. I just love that how you can just surprise them with an attack from judo, and just that's why I like.
Yeah, I mean, like you just sit on the panda and then you just piss people off, right?
Yeah, so then moving and stuff, it's like there's a lot of things you can do with her. Anyway, for other battle modes, I would say, sometimes I like playing Battle Quests by myself. It's kind of interesting how that works. It takes a long time though. But it's kind of cool. I wish this was like an iOS app. That would be even far better if it was like that, a little faster too. So, but for now, I think I am playing some of the stuff in there. It's quite hard too, even with all the even with all the stuff you can buy.
Yeah, I've tried playing some of it with my friends, and it just ends up destroying you if you're not cheating it by like playing Runica or something.
Oh yeah, so you had to get probably like the best characters just to go over there. And yeah, so some of the modes are just really hard, especially like if you're going up one against one of the last boss battles. Like you're just dying already after the first boss battle.
Yeah, and you do like the gauntlet. It's just like, oh no.
Okay. Oh, anyway, so we're here to talk about that Kickstarter that's going on. That is the Trials of Indines. So That's been going on for I think since last week.
Yeah.
And it'll be going on till October 16th.
Yep.
So what you can do, go ahead and just search in the Kickstarter for Trials of Indines. We also added a description in the description below, or some way we can do this podcast. I don't know where we're going to put this, if it's going to be just for the podcast's sake. Anyway, go there, and there's lots of different options. If you're a veteran of BattleCon, you can get the Justice Trial set with some of the promo characters. I think we are right now, as this recording, we are 60,651, so that is clearly above one of our stretch goal, which is for
Majorum, right? Majorum.
Yeah, yep. Warrior Princess.
Yeah, being a playtester, I actually know how she plays. I know most of her cards. Actually, I literally know all of her cards. And I guess, without breaking my NDA, I can say she's pretty fun. She's kind of like her dad.
With a couple of stuff.
Yeah.
Out there, yeah. So yeah, I took a look at her cards. So yeah, and it's been successful. We got fully funded on during the first, I think, 12 hours.
Yeah, I think we did. It was crazy, actually, and to be expected, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, and we both contribute to this Kickstarter too. I think you're doing some of the character discussions on that, right?
Yeah, and you're the one who did the character previews, the one where it's like the trailer, right?
Yeah, the trailer and the Kickstarter video itself.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I think the editing on those videos is amazing. By the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right. So So anyway, going back to the Kickstarter, there are different levels on there, and if you're just starting out at BattleCon, there's also different starting packages you can go through. I was going to go into questions right now, but just. I'm trying to veer off of that. But so there's different kinds of levels you can get. You can get the whole shebang, which is like everything Indines, including some of the promo characters that are very well coveted.
Yes.
And we have playmats, and we have all other sorts of things, including the supplemental game boxes that are for BattleCon. So yeah, lots of stuff you can look at, and lots of different levels you can go ahead and check to see if you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are going to go into our question, which is the main part of why we're having this discussion anyway. We submitted 3 questions each, and they're going to be randomized through the use of these Battle Quest cards of 1 through 6. And we're just going to go ahead and give this a shuffle and see where we go from there.
All right.
All right, so and the questions is basically things that are what we're excited for this next Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna give this another shuffle just in case. All right.
Don't want to cheat, right?
No cheating.
No cheating.
It should be all. Yeah, it should be two should be face up, and then we should cycle through it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Question number 5. This is one of your questions.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Question number 5. In terms of, like, you were listing down a lot of the stretch goals earlier. Which one are you most excited about? Or, in fact, which one did you pledge for if you've pledged for it already?
For stretch goals, that's the one I am excited for. It's one of the new characters. That's for the 100,000 level, and that's going to be Andrus, the dual swordist. That's because he's one of my favorite characters to play in Pixel Tactics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so one of his abilities in Pixel Tactics. You haven't played Pixel Tactics. It is another game from Level 99 Games, more like a kind of grid-based.
I've played set 1, I think. Nothing past set 1 though.
Yeah, so I think he's up there more in the. I think he's in the deluxe version. Same thing with Majora.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're both in the deluxe version. I do have to double check that. Yeah, so he kind of does the same thing, kind of like style wise for both the games. He he gives 2 attacks in a single action in a single round. So would you
because he has 2 daggers, right?
Yeah. So when you play him in Pixel Tactics, the things you can only do is you can attack once. For him, you can attack twice on that same turn. So you can pump him up and then devastate on that single turn.
Ah, that's pretty interesting. If you mind, I actually know how he plays because I've seen his cards too. And he's pretty cool. Actually, I'm gonna echo your sentiments and say that he is also my most anticipated stretch goal for the entire set.
And it looks cool, and it took me on surprise. Like he's like there, like as a random card from Pixel Tactics.
Yeah, but he looks cool. I like his daggers.
Okay, well now we're gonna counter this question back to you. What is your excited? What other stretch goals you're excited for?
Oh well, like I said, I was echoing your sentiments
yeah, that's right.
because
That's right.
yeah, yeah, because again, having the advantage of being a playtester, I know what his cards look like, and I know how he plays, and he seems very interesting to me. I like his mechanic. I mean, I can't talk about it because non-disclosure agreements and all that stuff. But I will say that if you're a fan of like characters who have a lot of tricksy effects, you know, he's essentially a rogue, right? So he has to be a bit tricksy in the way he plays. So like he's kind of like he's not necessarily a stat beast, but he has really awesome effects, and his double daggers thing, they play into his playstyle. So it's very cool. I really like his cards. I really like him as a character.
For me, I think I mean I have seen it too. I mean I've seen all the cards as well.
Yeah.
I think he's more of a combination, and I hopefully I can say this. He's more of a combination of Ivana and Hikaru, kind of. I think.
Kinda right, because
Yeah.
his mechanic focuses on using the daggers, which have various effects, kind of like Hikaru, and I guess they kind of like quote unquote cycle in the same way that Vanna's cards do. Vanna's token does.
All right, and question number 2 is talk boxes versus file sorters. So what do you prefer? And are talk boxes a good direction to go?
Okay, so I own Devastation, and I have those file sorters that are essentially just like little cardboard folders, right? With the character art on them. And at first they were good, until you realize that a lot of the characters in Devastation either have 20 cards like Enderbite, or have like 6 tokens like Marmalade does.
Yes.
So it's just not enough to fit, right? It's just not enough to fit in those tuck boxes. So whenever I put the components in, the tuck box looks like it's fat. Like it bulges so much. So it's really hard to fit into the box.
It doesn't just bulge, it breaks.
Yeah, the glue comes off.
No, it's weird because Enderbright, it never broke ever once before, even with the tokens in it. Because I put everything in my tokens, and I do have to extend it that other time because I had to put all the cards in there. But the funny thing is, some of the skinnier fighters, ones with less cards, they broke. I think
Like the glue just didn't hold up.
Yeah, it didn't hold up. It just cleanly just like got off from the file. But the thing is, I found a solution. Now I sent you some pictures of what I did to some of my files, and I extended it by opening it and then retaping it up so the file is much bigger. And so that let me fit everything, almost everything in there. So that's including all their cards, both of the character stats. I don't use the chibis. I do like the alternatives because I put the alternatives within the same sleeve as the original unique ability, and then if they have tokens, all the tokens in there. So that really speeds up setup for me.
Yeah. I can only assume because my setup's significantly different because I didn't really change the talk boxes, right? So setup takes a while, looking for the tokens and looking for the stand-ups.
And so my way's a little destructive, and I was going to release a how to do videos for this. I might do it soon. I still have it recorded and on file on my computer, but this is one of the solutions you can do, and this really speeds up the time. As for the other cards like the bases and like the armory stuff, they're in one whole box. I copied the style of Pixel Tactics, aka maybe like Smash Up, and put it in there with little file dividers, and it works pretty good. And I'm very happy with what I did here. So everything's in two whole sets.
Yeah, and it looks really clean and really, really nice. Way better than my setup, at least.
Yeah, so all the characters, so it's 60, is it 60? 60 plus all the other promos. Yeah, I also made files for the other problems myself. So it looks, the whole box of Devastation is completely filled with characters. And if you're watching the video of the video for this, you can see I put some pictures up what I did for this. And you want schematics of that, you can go ahead and email me or message me through YouTube and stuff. So yeah, but I also even have files for the bosses too, and they fit.
Yeah, I saw. The Havoc one looks pretty cool too.
So anyway, we haven't finished the second part of the question, which is our talk boxes go in a good direction.
Yeah, so I think talk boxes are a good direction. So if for any of the listeners there right now, if you guys didn't know, Brad recently released this giant mega dump info of like what's changing, what's not changing, and one of the changes that he's talking about is, again, the shift to talk boxes, right? But at the same time, how every single character will now have their own base set. Like, it'll still all be the alpha bases, you know, grasp, strike, whatever, but like there'll be a copy for every single character in the trials box now, which means that given the top box, which is essentially like a deck box, right? Given the tuck box, you can put the character, their base set, and then all of their tokens in it. So literally, a lot of the community members, I forget who was the one who posted it, but one of the community members made what is essentially a tuck box system for their Devastation game, and their setup looks like a character select screen. Like, if for you guys who don't know, we'll probably just put the picture up on the video. And it's pretty cool, and it also expedites the process of setup significantly. Plus, I think it's a really good direction because I've always complained to Brad about one thing about BattleCon, and actually it's the complaint that kinda sparked what Exceed is right now. Because I always complained that though BattleCon's really fun, I can't go to a card shop with a character I like to play and then just ask someone, does anybody else have a deck of BattleCon with them? You know, right? Because it's always just box, right? You just bring the entire freaking box, right? So with the tuck boxes and every single character having their own base set, I really, really think it promotes that entire culture of I'll just bring Seth around wherever I am, and if I find somebody else with their own character tuck box, we can play a game of BattleCon right there and then. And that's a very cool concept to me. Plus, it makes setup significantly easier. So, yeah, I do think that tuck boxes are the correct direction. But, you know, what do you think about it? I mean, after all, you have spent a significant amount of time fixing your file sorters. Are you going to be real mad now that the tuck boxes
I'm not mad. It's the thing is, I seen talk boxes and I wanted to do it. The thing is, it takes too much time. And I did the file sorters alternatively because I don't want to spend much time cutting all those talk boxes. But if I can get that as, you know, an official thing, and I like official things too, so that'll be great. And for me, it won't change anything. It's just going to change how it's a little better because it's as you can see on my the pictures I put up, you can't even see any of the characters. I have a system in my head and how it works because like on the left side, first 3 are war, and then the next 5 going from there are devastation. So, but people's like, where are these characters?
Everybody, you have to search through all of the tuck boxes.
Yeah, but yeah,
through all the sorters.
Yeah, the sorters and stuff. Because I think, is this it? And they pull it out, and it's like, oh, it's hard to put back in because it's a very tight squeeze. It doesn't look like it. It's a tight squeeze in there, especially for the master and advanced because they have so many tokens and cards.
Oh,
yeah. If I'm gonna zoom up right, if you zoom up on that picture where it's with all the cards, I had to cut up like one of the boards in the back so everything else will fit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so now
you did.
It used to be not like that. Devastation all just used to be fit like perfectly in that, and then I had to take everything out. There used to be like little trays and stuff in there, but I had to take that out and put it into the other box. But yeah, talk boxes I think is a good direction, and I mean this is probably in parallel like in Exceed. You can take a deck of Exceed anywhere, and Exceed is another level 99 games that you guys haven't heard of that plays similar to like BattleCon, but for me it is quite different.
Yeah, a lot of people are describing it as what if BattleCon and Yomi had a baby. That's technically what Exceed is. It's Yomi BattleCon.
Anyway, I do want to move on to the next question. All right, and the next question is one. That's my question, and that is component updates. The question is, how do you feel about the recent update on reverting to tokens, markers, and counters to actual pieces again?
Yeah. Okay. So, like Ferdinand said, right? The all of the components were turned into cards for at least a short amount of time, and actually, I have files for all of those cards. And the reasoning behind it, at least if you read the Kickstarter update, for you guys who don't know, the update says that Brad was trying to make them cards to make storage and setup easier because the cards fit better into file sorters than 7 tokens or something like that. But then I think a lot of the community members felt like there was a bit of a backlash, right, for this. I personally think that it was a bit weird to have tokens become cards now, right? This shift towards cards is actually present in War Revised Edition, Remastered Edition. If you notice, Hepzibah's Dark Packs used to actually be tokens, but now they're cards, right? So I think this shift was coming, but I didn't expect to have literally everyone's tokens turn into cards. And I thought it was a very confusing system because they're cards, but they're still tokens, right? Like,
Yeah, it seems weird.
yeah, so how do I feel about it? I feel good that it was reverted because on one side, it means that we don't have to mess around with getting confused over whether the card is a card or a marker or a counter or a token, because literally all those 4 things are different in BattleCon and different effects interact with them in different ways. So making all of them the same physical thing just makes understanding the rules way more complicated than it has to be.
Oh yeah.
On the other hand,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that this happened because it means that Brad and Level 19 Games are listening to us because, again, like we expressed this sort of weirdness about it, and then they were like, yeah, okay, we get it. And besides, I think the main goal of making setup/storage easier wasn't really met. Like Brad in his update said that it doesn't really make setup that much faster because it's going to end up in the same part of the box anyway. So whether or not they're tokens or cards, they're all going to fit into the character's tuck box anyway, right? So it doesn't really make that much of a difference in terms of storage and or setup because it's just going to be in the same tuck box. And I think the shift towards tuck boxes makes the reversion of the cards to components that much smoother because, again, it's a tuck box now. It's no longer a little teeny paper folder that you have to stuff things into. If it's a tuck box, you can do the same thing that you do with all of your Magic the Gathering decks and stuff and just put random components like extra dices in there, right? So I think that goes a long way in making that transition or the reversion back to the actual components better. So what do you think about yeah, so you were expressing the same sentiments, right? Like you were saying that it's kind of weird that they're cards but they're tokens. So what do you think in terms of like the advantages of having quote unquote better storage capabilities? Do you think that was worth trying to get rid of the physicality of the game? Because I know it's a board game first and foremost, right? And a lot of players actually like having physical components that they touch, though I'm not one of those people. Maybe you are.
Oh no, I love the touchy feel kind of components that BattleCon has with the counters and the markers and stuff, because I love dropping the counters like on the table and to make that really nice little clacky sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but for the cards, it's just it feels like it wasn't going to like the direction of Exceed, almost like just a purely card game, and it kind of like was trying to verge into it and didn't feel like BattleCon as much as with the tokens and stuff. So that's why I am more in favor of the physical little tokens instead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. So and I know there are benefits of having cards. You can put a lot more information on cards and stuff. But yeah, as you said again, it's confusing because it's like it's just a symbol on the card instead of an actual kind of figure in there. And that's one of the things when I was first learning BattleCon, I was having a hard time to grasp is like tokens and stuff, and like the different shapes. Now they were different. They weren't different shapes, I think, before. I think they were just all like all round. Yeah, they're all like all round tokens. They're all tokens, but they're like markers. And especially when learning judo, like, is judo a person? Is judo a token? Can you Can you counter judo with what's her name?
Lixus.
Yeah, Lixus.
Lixus naturalizing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, first time playing BattleCon experiences. Yeah, we can probably talk about that some other time.
Yeah. I can tell you so many stupid stories that happen when you're first playing BattleCon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, but yeah. So yeah, the tokens and the going back to the actual punch out ones makes me relieved and happy.
Yeah. Me too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question. Oh, number 6. This is one for you.
Oh, okay. So, I guess since we talked about our favorite characters from all the sets we've played, right? So now that and you made the character trailer. So among the 10 fighters that we have, which one are you excited for the most?
Well, it's a little obvious, especially with my favorite character being Tatsumi, and that's gonna be Darius. Not that Darius. Is it Darius? No, it's not Darius. It's Dravil. Sorry. Whoops. Dravil.
I think a water elemental is significantly different from a drunken master guy. So
yeah. Sorry. They're both kind of liquid kind of people. No, just kidding.
They would start with D.
Yeah. So yeah, looking at his So I did preview his Samu's ability. So he kind of I think he's kind of in the same fashion as Tatsumi, but I would say he's more a mixture of Tatsumi and Kalistar, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so kind of like
he's a stance switcher.
Yeah. So really cool. I do like that kind of like tactician kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very excited for that.
He's pretty cool. I like the way he changes his forms too, because I think it's a very interesting mechanic to have his forms changed based on board position, which is really.
So yeah, very excited him, and he's also one of the people that I voted for from previously to be on the roster, both from Devastations and from the War of Indines remaster edition. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I've been waiting for him for a very long time. Since such a fan from Tatsumi for a while. So it's great to have a different, the same kind of character with a kind of different style.
Yeah. I can understand that.
So he does mean something to me too. And I remember when I was doing Wanderers for the contest for that, I almost did a very similar ability, but with an ice character, and well, that's like kind of long gone anyway. But it was very similar to his ability of going through and trying to attach to his, I think, Steam marker or something like that. Okay,
that's very interesting. So that literally means that a character that you concocted in your head is kind of in the game now, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's. So what is yours?
Okay, so if you watched the Wardlaw preview video I made, you know that I'm hype as heck for Wardlaw. It's just So I this is pretty much the same story as yours, because number one, I played a few fighting games. I mean, like, I'm not like the most hardcore, but I really like grapplers as an archetype, and I feel like BattleCon doesn't have one. Like, Kajo is one, but like, she doesn't feel very grapplery. She feels more like, I dodge around you and stuff, and you get stung by bees or whatever. So when Wardlaw was introduced, Wardlaw was actually introduced again in the similar context with Dravil, right? He was up for voting too, for Fate, I mean, right? And a lot of people actually didn't pick him, which was really sad for me, because everybody was like, "Oh, we don't need some weird bartender man or whatever." And I'm like, but he's so cool because he's a wrestler, and what really sold me on him was that his mechanic focuses on like smashing people into the edge of the board, and I find that to be really interesting because, again, like, I'm a numbers guy, so to me all that really matters in positioning is not actually where you are on the board, but more of like how far are you from the opponent. So with Wardlaw's unique ability, you're forcing people into the corner, and the corner suddenly becomes way more interesting than it usually is. So it's like he's really cool. I like him. I'm really excited for him the most. He's really hype. I really think he's hype.
Yeah. So cool. I don't know, but his character style, I don't know why, like how he's drawn. He kind of reminds me of both Gaston from Beauty and the Beast and then Gruz from Zelda Skyward Sword.
Yes.
I don't know, with a big mustache.
Yes. Actually,
maybe a little bit of Wario in there.
I was
too,
about to say it.
Mario
I was about to
Brothers.
say that. I was like, he's
Yeah.
basically Wario, the mustache, and I actually made a photo edit of this, wherein I just gave him a yellow shirt and like violet overalls. It's so dumb.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, he does remind me of one of one of the previous promo characters. The one with the little armored boy and the wind girl.
Claus and Wendell.
Yeah, seems to
Yeah.
be kind of like the same kind of style.
Yeah, because Claus and Wendell was, in case you guys never seen Claus and Wendell, their unique ability is all about like converting movement into damage and pushing people with their movement abilities. So yeah, it feels like that because Claus and Wendell end up cornering the opponent a lot, like a lot, and Wardlow's kind of like that too. So yeah, you're right.
Cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Number 3. This is my last question. Yay. Okay.
Wow, we alternated.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, number 3. Do you like some of the new art changes for some of the characters? And I looked at, I did research this, and the characters that had art changes from what we saw from before, from the last remastered War of Indines box Kickstarter was Trias. I forgot the mage lady.
Eulalie, Kimbe.
Yeah, Kimbe. Syndra and Dararios. So those had art changes in them, and if do you remember what they look like at all? You can look at the go ahead and you log back into the BattleCon website. You can find the pledges there. That's still there, and you can see the original artwork.
Yeah, actually, I think a large majority of their artwork came from their appearances in Argent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people like Darius.
Yes.
Some of his, the art that was shown was taken from his appearance in Argent. So, I think, because you're probably asking this question because when these characters' art were changed, I think it's very prominent when you look at Kimbe and Darius specifically. Actually, even Syndra. Actually, the only one from this set, I think, who doesn't fit the mold is Trias, because his art still kind of looks like the old No Commento style, but Kimbe, Syndra, and Darius look a bit more cartoony, right?
Yeah,
Compared
that's
to
right. And we've been following the comments too on the Kickstarter. It's been talked about a lot about some people not happy with the changes in the art style in this.
Yeah, I think that it's not necessarily bad, but at the same time, like, I would prefer if everybody were in the same style, because if everyone were just a little bit more cartoony, I'd be fine, but then Wardlaw and Trias and everybody else in the set looks like they came from Devastation. Looks like they were made by the same artist, right? But Kimbe and Syndra and Darius all look like they were made by the same artist still from like the previous set, but a little bit cartoonish, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it has something to do with the way the colors are, because the colors on Darius, Kimbe, and Syndra are a bit brighter compared to like the more dull-ish and more realistic tone that the other characters are taking on. Or I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I think it looks way more cartoony, and like the old Kimbe art looks like the old Kimbe no Commento art. I really personally prefer that over the current Kimbe art.
Yeah, it is. It is a full body art. I mean, for the other ones like Darius and Syndra, and even Trice has a full body art. Syndra and Darius, they had only up to the busts.
Yeah, because that was the art. That was the only amount of art they needed to represent them in Argent.
So they needed new art. Which is fine. And I do like the Syndra art, and I think I prefer the Syndra art than the other one that we previously had. I don't know why, but I do like her posing is than the other one.
Yeah, I like the posing on her Phoenix form. She looks majestic.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy with that. Trice is fine. I think he's fine because it's the same kind of style. The two I am worried about are Darius and Kimbe.
Yeah, like they kind of look very graphic novel-y, right? Like very striking, and they have like deep lines, like thick lines. I don't know how to describe it, but like that's
it kind of stands out just a little bit. It doesn't seem more consistent to what we're used to, especially the previous art in BattleCon. Yeah, but for the rest of them, like Aemon and Dravel, they were drawn up during the time of the remastered edition for the voting period, and so they're in that very similar style anyway.
Yeah, they're in that Devastation War remastered style.
They were ready to go, but they just needed votes.
People didn't use their votes properly.
Yeah, grumble.
Yeah, grumble. Yeah, so in my opinion, although I'm not really that much of a fluff guy, I'm more of I'm more excited about mechanics and how a character plays or the play style associated with them. At the same time, I fully agree about how some people are concerned about the consistency that the set has, because a big problem a lot of the people I was trying to introduce BattleCon to back in the old and Prime War days was that people were like, the art makes no sense. Why does this guy look like he's a sketch, and then why does this person look like a watercolor painting? And the art style, some people were attracted to certain art styles in the game, but they all agreed that it would have been way better if everybody just looked like they were made by the same person.
Yeah. And they did a good job of that when they came out with Devastations. I mean, really good job. A really huge overhaul on the art.
Yeah, a really huge overhaul. Not to say that any of the artists that they featured in War were bad. They all had their own unique styles, right? But at the same time, just having a consistent art style, it goes a long way in making the game feel more coherent for most people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I fully understand why some people are complaining about it. And I would say that I prefer if everyone were just to stay consistently the same style with War and Devastation, because I think that art style is really pretty, really, really pretty. And I think the cartoony style is good too, because I'm actually a sucker for stylistic cartoony style. But at the same time, it's not going to be coherent with the other sets, and I feel like that's going to be a huge detriment when presenting the game to other people, because BattleCon's always about the sets are playable with each other, so to have the sets look different is going to be really weird or awkward for a lot of people.
Yeah. So but I'm not really upset about this. It's just if they change it, I probably would be even more happier about it.
Yeah, I share that sentiment.
Yeah, so it's not a big problem, and I can understand why they have to kind of switch out these characters' arts for that kind of thing. But but Kimbe's art, the other one they had, is pretty awesome. I think.
Yeah, I love that art.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think he wanted to show off one of her items that she used as a character.
The staff.
Yeah, the staff. So she's not holding a staff in the original art. She is holding a staff in the new art.
Oh, yeah, she is holding a staff. Behind her or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, good. Okay, and yes, we got into our final question, and that's number 4. That's your first one.
My first question. Okay, so we were talking about a lot. We've been talking about a lot of the characters and a lot of the characters that we're excited for. And I think this first question is trying to ask, how do you feel about this entire cast of characters? Do you think they're more complicated than Fate was, or do you think they're kind of like closer to War or something like that?
Okay, so anyway, from the looks of it, and just looking from the Kickstarter page, it seems to be more for people getting easier and like an easier ease into BattleCon. It feels like a more of a beginner set. It's like there's a lot of brawlers and a lot of doesn't looks like it's a very complicated set. So it's perhaps good for it, but it's still there for the veterans who love to play all these kind of different kind of things. But for the cast of the characters, I mean, it's balanced enough. I mean, I think there's more guys in there. If you didn't know that, Hayden is a female.
Yeah, Hayden's a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was confused about it at first.
Because
because Hayden's a boy name from what I know.
Yeah. So anyway, but and then she's psionic and she has short hair, and if anyone watches Netflix,
Stranger Things have happened.
Things are strange. Yeah, stranger things have happened in Indines.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I think it's very it's a coincidental kind of thing that just happened. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm also happy that we are getting our first Maleface sister.
Oh yeah, we are Lucida.
Yeah, I voted for Sarah very hard. I mean, that was my number one character that I voted for because I thought she was interesting.
Was she the who is she again?
She's the demonic purple girl.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the box. She has a box.
Oh, she's the heart of Maleface.
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking for which body part of Maleface she was.
Yeah. So there's certain parts, kind of like thing. Yeah. So I'm happy with that. I mean, they have they're all introduced, I think, in Pixel Tactics, but this is the first one they hear. Are they in Argent?
I actually can't remember.
I can't say. I don't know. I mean, but no, Nokometo has like some really cool, interesting art. Some of their other sisters too. So I really love to see that. And their butler. They should have their butler too.
Yeah, his name's Victor or something. Was it Victor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to. Can we vote him in? I want to fight as a butler.
The combat butler. You could be a combat butler and just serve people to death, I guess.
And then we finally had Trias, who appeared in one of the playmats there. So yeah, a pretty good. I think I like the characters in this set much better than Fate. I mean, Fate was very good.
Yeah, Fate was good.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of things that are going for him for me. So Dravil, which is the character I've been waiting for a very long time, and we have our first, of course, Maleface's sister.
Yeah, I like that.
So how about you? I mean, how this set goes for the other sets?
Okay, so personally, again, I think that a large majority of this set is filled with characters with very interesting mechanics. Again, I'm more of a mechanics guy, so it's like I don't really quote-unquote care whether or not Hayden's a psionic or Dravel's an elemental. Like, that doesn't really matter to me. So, like, I find the characters all to be very interesting mechanically because where we have characters who essentially may bring new mechanics into the game that didn't exist before, right? For example, like Wardlaw and his entire thing with the edge, like the edgelord that he is, and then you have Hayden, who makes use of a very interesting new kind of token mechanic, right? Where she does stuff with her concentration and rage, right?
Yep, and that's kind of imposing with her artwork. That she has two things she can use. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm all about the aesthetics.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting perspective because I'm not sure how deeply I can breach my NDA here, but I feel a lot of the characters are very, very unique, and I want to make special note of Darius specifically because I find it very interesting how Darius essentially is a drunken master fighter, right? That's what he is, right?
Yep.
And his cards and his abilities all make it feel like you're actually playing drunk. Like, they literally all make you feel like you're playing drunk. And it's very interesting how a lot of the themes in this set are actually translated really well into the mechanics. More so than Fate, I believe. Because I feel like this set's very thematic, but at the same time very simple. So I think it's more in line with what War used to be, right? Because War was a very simple set, especially if you compare it to something like Devastation. I mean, like, just look at Gaspar by himself, and then try to understand everything how that character works. I guarantee you won't. I guarantee you will never be able to understand how that character works.
Yeah, very, very difficult to handle too. That's why he's on master level, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like flight 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like, even then, there's so many edge cases surrounding Gaspar, and like that complication, that complexity isn't really present in this set. I think the most complicated you get is Burgundy, the guy who looks like a stick figure.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking forward to him too. I'm still very tactical kind of fighter anyway, so
Yeah.
It does remind me of Tannis from Devastation too, and I'm good at Tannis. I do like her ability too.
Oh yeah, because Burgundy's thing is that he literally paints the town red by putting paint all over the board, right? And he can like pop up from where paint splashes are and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so he's pretty.
Think Portal, everyone.
Yeah, think Portal, right? He moves through the paint world or something.
Yeah.
So so I think he's the most complex guy in the set. I think he is. Let me think. I mean, like, I guess it's either him or Hayden. But but then again, I think Hayden's complexity comes from execution more than actually just understanding how the mechanics work. So if your most complicated character in the set is essentially Burgundy, and it's essentially kind of like Tannis, who is not that complicated to play or to understand. So
she's a master, isn't she? Right? Master level.
Yeah, she is a master level, but strangely enough, she's not really that hard to understand.
No,
how to play.
no, and I love playing her too.
Yeah. I think this set's really, really good. I think a lot of people are echoing the sentiment that this set does what Fate does not, right? Because they're going like, we were all really disappointed in how Fate ended up being more complicated than it should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, introduction of Force Gauge and literally half the cast having ignore stun guard on every single one of their attacks. Oh my goodness. But I think this set brings things more into balance, and I think it goes back to the core of what I think is great BattleCon design, which is simplicity with elegance. Because a lot of the characters in this set probably have cool interactions or effects that are implicit rather than explicit. Like just look at Wardlaw alone, and you'll figure out that even if his cards don't explicitly state it, Wardlaw can deal 8 damage to a guy in one turn without any resources. He just needs the cards, and then he can deal 8 damage to you in one turn. And if you can figure out how to do that, it makes you feel really smart. So I won't spoil the fun for anyone, but if you can find a way to deal 8 damage with Wardlaw, do tell us, because it will be very interesting if you find out, and I'm sure it will be very fun for you to try to figure that out yourself. But yeah, I think this entire Kickstarter, specifically this trial set, is very, very much more simple and much more elegant, and I love it. Yeah,
I'm excited for it, and hopefully we get all the way up to even that last. For me, it's the last character on the stretch list. Ray Call.
Ray, I think is her name. Ray something.
Ray Call, something like that.
Yeah, she's the angel. She's the angel character.
Divination. I think in Argent's she's like the divination professor or something like that.
Oh, she is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like anything. Anyway, and then we have to hit. And then a lot of people are talking about that very last stretch goal, which is 250,000, and that's for the big box.
The big box. The big boys.
Yeah. So I mean, it would be nice to have, but it's it is. I want to say it's a long shot, but
yeah.
But dear listener, if you are listening to us and you if you really want to get that collector's box, share the Kickstarter with everyone and see if we can get as many people to be pledging onto this Kickstarter. Do check out this Kickstarter. It's gonna, again, I'm just gonna say it's gonna end on October 16, 2016, and do look forward to it. There is a lot of things in there that you can check out, different pledge levels, and I think you can do it. And it's a very active community too. So if you're just talking, I mean, even asking for help, like what is BattleCon, I'm surely people will help you out there. So anyway, let's go ahead and close this. I don't know how we're gonna close this.
Oh, I can close this because it's gonna end the same way every other video ends.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So, if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, do put them in the comment section down below. And of course, if you guys have your own opinions, maybe you think that Trials is a great set. Maybe you're really excited for it. Maybe you think Fate was way better than Trials was. Do tell us in the comment section down below as well, because we'd love to hear your opinion. Again, this has been Marco / The Mechanic Critic, and this has been
Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker.
Yeah, and we thank you so much for listening. Thank you, and good night.
Good night, everyone.